Alright, so now you've tested everything, it's all working, and once everything is set up hardware-wise, software-wise, you can go into the settings of the One Button Studio and see if you might want to change some of that stuff around. So very first off, if you're in full screen mode, the One Button Studio, like this, you want to get out of full screen mode by coming up and hovering over the top of the screen and clicking on this green button to get out of full screen. And one of the new things about the One Button Studio is that it will go full screen automatically. So whenever you open the application, whenever you restart the computer and the One Button Studio opens again, it's going to go full screen automatically for you, which will be nice. But to get to all of the settings of the One Button Studio, you can come up to the top left of your screen where it says One Button Studio, click on that menu, and then select the Preferences option here. And preferences are going to be some settings that you can change. You might not want to change some of them if you don't know what they are. But there are these things in here that you can use. So encoding bitrate right at the top, this is something that has to do with video feeds. So if you are a more advanced user and you know what encoding bitrate is and you know that you need to change it, then you can adjust this slider. If you do not know what this means, please just leave that go. You can leave it at 3 megabits per second and that's going to be just fine for the recordings that you're making. The countdown time is something that you may want to change though. So it says 5 seconds here just as a default. So if you want to increase the time it takes for it to count down when you start recording in the One Button Studio, you can drag the slider over to adjust the timing there. So if you want to increase it or if you want to shorten it, you can, just depending on the size of your room, you might want to do that. Use authentication for lighting control is something we'll cover in the next video. Display lightboard options is something you can use if you have a lightboard. If you don't know what a lightboard is, there's some information that is online out there. But the lightboard is basically a big piece of glass that you can write on, so if you want the writing to appear the right way when you watch it back, display lightboard options will give you the option to flip the recording so you're writing the correct way. And then you can also see down at the bottom here, it has numbers of videos and time for all recorded videos, so it's actually tracking the amount of recordings that you've made and also the total amount of time. So I've only recorded one, I have this 18-second here. And this is going to be good if you're tracking per semester how much the studio is being used. So if you want that data, it is now in the preferences here. Every time you record, it's going to tick up. And after the end of the semester, once you gather that data out of here, you can click on Reset Counts, and that will reset all of the data here. So you can reset the numbers of videos that have been recorded. So that's pretty much it for the preferences. So I'm just going to close this preference pane. And the other thing that I want to point out, so once you record videos, they record directly to the flash drive, but the videos actually record a backup copy onto the Mac Mini itself as well. So to find those videos, if you double click on the Macintosh HD icon, I'm just going to minimize this real quick, double click on the Macintosh HD icon on your desktop, and then select the Movies folder on the left hand side that you set up previously in those Finder settings. You'll see a One Button Studio folder here now, so you can double click on the OBS folder, and this is going to be all of the videos that you've recorded. So you can see here we have a bunch of them. They're all MP4 files, and it's all going to be time coded and date stamped. So you'll be able to go by time and date. So if somebody loses their video, or if for whatever reason their flash drive fails, we can come back in here, access the computer, take their MP4 file and just copy it over onto a new drive. So they have a backup copy just in case something happens to the original on the flash drive. And all of these TS files you can just leave alone. The MP4 files are the ones that you want to take. The TS files you can just ignore for now. So once you have all of that, and once you have all of those settings configured, you can just go back to full screen in your One Button Studio here. And full screen is good just to make it so nobody can see the desktop behind the application itself. And from that point, you're ready to go. So you've configured everything hardware-wise and software-wise, and now you have a fully functioning One Button Studio. And users can now come in and start using the One Button Studio to record their videos.